Most real estate agents using Claude are getting decent results. That's not the problem. Decent's not the ceiling, decent's the floor. And almost nobody figures out what's above it because they never do the setup work. And I was in that camp for longer than I'd like to admit. I was impressed enough with the default output that I didn't stop to ask whether there was a better version. There is, and it's really simple. It starts with one simple shift in how you think about what Claude actually is. You're not using a search engine, you're working with someone you hired, and you've been handing them a sticky note every time you need something done instead of sitting them down and explaining the business. Here's what that actually costs you. Every time you open a blank Claude conversation and type a request, you're asking someone who knows nothing about you to do the work that requires knowing a lot about you. Claude doesn't know your market. He doesn't know your voice. He doesn't know that you work with move-up buyers at a specific price range, that you never use certain phrases, that your sellers tend to be retirement age, and that they respond to a specific tone. He doesn't know you've already covered the interest rate angle 4 times this month, and your audience is tired of it. He knows what you typed in the last 30 seconds, so the output is generic. Not because Claude isn't capable, but because the input was generic. That's not a Claude problem, that's an onboarding problem. And the fix isn't a better prompt. The fix is the same thing you do with any new hire. Get them up to speed before you ask them to produce. The way you do that is what I call a job description. A Claude job description is not a prompt. It's a document you write once and reference every time. It tells Claude who you are, who you serve, how you communicate, and what you want him to handle. You write it in the way you onboard a sharp assistant. You cover the basics of your business. You explain your communication style. You walk through the things that are always true about how you operate, so he's not learning them on the job at your expense. For a real estate agent, that document covers your market area, the price ranges you focus on, the type of clients you work with, and what matters to them. It describes your content voice, formal or conversational. Do you use humor? What topics are always on the table? What angles are you tired of? It covers the formats you produce most often, and any recurring structure those formats follow. It also includes the things you find yourself explaining at the start of every prompt. If you're typing the same context paragraph over and over, that belongs in the job description. You're already writing it, you're just writing it repeatedly instead of once. Once that document exists, you paste it at the start of a conversation or store it in a Claude project where it loads automatically every time. Claude now has the context a good employee would have on day 30, not day 1. The work reflects that immediately. I want to show you how different that looks in practice. Generic prompt, write a caption for my new listing. You get something that sounds like every other listing caption on the internet. Vague enthusiasm, nothing that sounds like you. Same prompt after Claude has your job description. He knows your voice, your market, your buyer profile. He writes something that sounds like you. You edit a word or two. You don't rewrite it from scratch. That gap compounds over time. The more you work with Claude from a contextualized starting point, the more useful every session becomes. He's not just doing individual tasks better. He's developing a working understanding of your business that carries into everything he touches. Now, here's the honest part. Writing the job description takes time, probably 30 minutes, maybe more if you really dig in. You have to think through how you actually work, what you actually want, what standards matter to you, what you've never bothered to articulate because you assumed anyone working with you would just figure it out. That thinking is not overhead, it's infrastructure. Every hour you spend writing the job description saves you 15 minutes of re-explaining yourself in every session for the rest of the year. That math is not close. The agents who get the most out of Claude are not the ones who found better prompts. They're the ones who do the upfront work so they're not starting from zero every time they open a tab. They built something that compounds. Every session is informed by context that didn't disappear when the last conversation ended. That's a different tool than the one most people are using. It's the same software, but the difference is how you set it up. If you want to build this out live and see it done step by step, I have a training coming up on June 18th called SUPERCHARGE Claude. We walk through the full setup, how to write your role definition, how to structure your Claude projects so context loads automatically, and how to get Claude producing work that actually sounds like you. We walk through how to get more out of your Claude, leveraging connectors that are already there. The registration link is in the description. If this was useful, subscribe. I put one of these out every week, real workflows, not theory.